Hi. Hello, Darry. Had a chat with Darry earlier, and I think it's time for a bit of a chat and an update. So I asked her what time it would be in various locations, because obviously I'm in Australia, so it's slightly late here. But I'll just wait for a few people to get on. Darry. There's 3 now. Yes, I'm in my pajamas, got my Sons of Anarchy. Well, technically not. I'll have to really try and read everyone. Hello, Libran Infinity. Hello, Heather. Hi, Kimberly. How are we, feminines? Do we have any masculines? It's it's not a Friday now. It's a Saturday for me. How are we all? Well, the energy for me personally has changed. So I'm feeling some of it has alleviated, so to speak. Here and there's actually energy coming through. But I thought it was time for us to have a bit of a chat. It has been weird. Where are the suckers? What, the divine masculines? Oh, this lady, I'll have to actually give a shout out to this channel. Now, I'm going to go inside, so you're going to have to walk with me. This lady, oh, I'm telling you, classic. I listened to her twin flame reading. Now, she is a new channel, so I'll give her a shout out. I've written it down here. There was one of her videos, Future Real 40. Go have a look at her channel. She made reference to the masculines, and I thought what she said was an absolute crack up. She's reading away, and she's talking about the fact that the masculine's coming through. I'm just going to say it, for booty. And she's going, oh, no, man, you're not going to be playing like that. And it's pretty true, depending on the wave of twin you are. Now, for us geriatrics of the journey, put your hands up. How many geriatrics of the journey? Darry, put your hand up. Put a thumb up. How many geriatrics? How many well-experienced divine feminines do we have here? The ones that have evolved beyond the chaser mode. How many do we have? Fess up. Hello, Leonie. There you go, Darry. We got one. Okay, one here. We're out of chaser mode. Here, Roger. Okay. Now, how many thumbs down in this? Hi, Stefan. Here, okay, Roger. Okay. Now, I'm going to elaborate on why I'm doing this video. Now, it's not that it's wrong, you know, and it's not to say you're not going to have those emotions where you know, where is it? Gee, yes, would like it, blah, blah, blah. I was able to release the expectation on Tuesday. Cool. 8 years separation, no chasing. Has there been contact, though? Do you feel urges at times to contact? Victoria. Okay, I've got a few breakdowns for you guys. Okay, because there's a few things I've had this little aha moments, epiphanies. Yeah. I said, Romana, I'm ADHD, okay? I am high on life. My masculine is now the chaser, okay? That's good. For the last 2 years, okay. Now, part of it, okay, when we say it's divinely guided, lovely. Very good. Okay, so there's a few things. Now, when you look into Abraham Hicks, and I know there was a point I was trying to make, and now it's just gone completely vague. Now, Abraham Hicks discusses the aspects of manifestation, right? Now, from the aspect of manifestation, like attracts like, similar in the twin flame journey. Unfortunately, when you've had adversity, somebody made this very profound statement, and it was connected to, in order to manifest, you literally need to have your vibration high. Now, theoretically, if you guys have been living cycles and doing the same thing, the only physical way for you to break that cycle will be for you to be in alignment with yourself. Now, that physically means removing yourself from the relationship field, where you are physically saying, right, time out. I'm changing my frequency. I'm going to come to a place where you're going to have that gap. And it doesn't have to be a huge gap, just enough of a gap to change your frequency, to do your personal healing so that you can realign yourself correctly and start taking your power back in your personal life. I will be doing some videos lately. It is, but Derry, it's something natural that comes through. Now, if you actually understand you're both twins regardless, right? That's never going to change. So be it you choose to be in your twin flame journey, you're always going to be a twin regardless, and twin will come back. So how you deal with that is, completely up to you. It is divinely guided. Whether they want to or they don't want to, they'll be drawn back in. Same shit for you. It's just the way it goes. Because spiritually, you guys have been chosen to actually learn things from each other. Yes, there is every possibility you guys can physically have a 3D relationship together and live happily ever after. But there's work to do beforehand, and the work actually does come down to you. Now, part of that work does come down to the interaction. So that can be the interaction when you're drawn to them to directly communicate or deal with them or be in that connection with them, and then away when you move away. Now, in my path, what I have noticed is there have been some failings through that, and I've had to learn through that process. But in an aspect of manifestation, when you're at that frequency and, there's the next partner or you're getting into a relationship, what you're actually avoiding is a bit what the masculine's doing, which is the aspect of healing. So when we're saying, hey, the masculine needs to do A, B, C, D, what we do need to actually understand is it's aligned correctly, okay? It won't matter where they are. They synchronistically will be drawn to you, or you will be drawn to them. It's the same thing with the laws of attraction, right? And the manifestation. If you state it, it will be. It's a bit like that movie, Build It and They Will Come. It's the same thing. I mean, I gave my mum a reading years ago, and I said to her, you're going on a holiday. And she directly said to me, I don't have my passport. I have no money. I'm on welfare payments. How am I going to do that? I said, don't worry about it. I said, receive, you're going to receive. And sure enough, she did. A ticket was purchased for her. Her passport was purchased, the accommodation, and off she went. And she said to me, I will never doubt what you're stating again. And it's more to the point of stop looking at the blocks. The blocks belong more in your head, more connected to the work you need to do. Now, I am going to be doing some videos for the channel, and I don't just want this channel to be directly about twin flames, although that will always be so. But, hi Dale, I do want it to be to a point where there's other aspects to this channel, because it is a very long journey, depending on how long you're in it, and we each need that support. So I'm going to be creating tools where we can actually work with those triggers. I'm also going to be doing manifestation. So we're going to deal with those aspects of how we can manifest things. Hello, Monica. So that we can actually change our vibration and get it into a point where we're monthly or bi-monthly, using that time where we can actually sit there and state our intent for our manifestation, and then have that check-in to actually see where we're going on that journey, so we can help coax each other along and actually motivate all of us on our path of what challenges we're trying to take. Now, some of those challenges are making hard choices for ourselves, and they can be anything to do with our finance. So it might be that we feel we're stuck in a situation of a 3D nature, and we feel we have no tools or no power to actually make that happen. So what I'm going to try and do is create those tools and provide the emotional support in a group setting where we can get that ball rolling, if that's spiritually what you want to do. It can be anything to, promoting your business. And in that manifestation monthly, if you want to write your link of what you're doing, feel free when we do that manifestation. So then it's paying it forward to you guys that you guys can promote yourselves to push yours forward for you to move your spiritual path forward. Now, when it comes down to it, unless you can spiritually be happy alone, you will not be happy in your twin flame union. That is the absolute reality. No man or woman is an island. It takes a lot to get to a point where you can be completely happy. Now, it's not to say you're not going to get into it with still work to be done. You don't need to be perfect, but you do need to come to a place where you can have time, you can sort out the 3D aspects of things, and then, and then get to a point where you're feeling vibrationally comfortable in your own energy, and then you do feel secure. A lot of the actual energy at times that feminines get stuck with is how was our intuition so wrong? And it's actually not that your intuition's wrong. You are directly giving unconditional love. And unfortunately, in doing that, sometimes it does mean we get burnt. So now we are just concerning between where we will and where we won't. And it's tough love. It's not we're going to be coming out like we're going to harm someone, but we're definitely not going in where we're going to tolerate somebody harming us. So be it you get to a point you say, is this a twin or isn't it? Regardless, it's going to benefit you because you're now gaining the tools. Hey, Giggle, you're going to gain the tools. Now, I do privately here and there talk to different people on the twin flame journey. Now, the geriatrics, as we say, of the journey who have been on this journey a very long time have gone through mass transformations. Now, that can be anything to the degree of really watching their twin go through many karmics, not one. I mean, some of you would directly just have one karmic. One karmic. Others of you would have gone through years of karmics watching and waiting, where you've literally looked at it and just realized after the fact how very cross you are that you were very patient with that situation. Yeah, that's what I was saying. The geriatrics, put your thumbs up. It's to give an example to those younger in the journey to understand that by having those boundaries, masculine will trigger you to feel, if you do, that there will be a consequence. They will remove their love. And that is an energetic lesson that you physically have to learn. So the quicker you realize, if you pass that energetic lesson and you can purge it and outgrow it, your frequency changes. Now, one thing I have noticed probably in the last week is that some of the energy for feminines, especially the geriatrics of the journey, sounds so bad. You're feeling energies all of a sudden come out of nowhere, and they are very angry and aggressive energies. No, it's not your energy. The reason you are experiencing it is because they're having that awareness of it and they're thinking on those areas and they're very angry. What else was I picking up with it? It's almost a confirmation to you, however frustrating it is. They're calling the empath. They're calling the empath, and it's not even they know they're intentionally doing it. They're thinking on it, and it's your aha that they're processing that issue. So it is they've tapped into you, and you're receiving their frequency, but you can't help them because they do need to actually come to a place where they spiritually purge that aspect. Too many times feminines have come in and tried to help, and that's in your whole life. That can be with your family, it can be with your friends, and then people bite your hand and they're like, oh, you're interfering. It's because you're an empath. You're going to need to white light yourself, and you're going to need to acknowledge it when the energy is coming through and state perhaps you acknowledge it. Do a breathing exercise and try and look at a light or something to tune your energy out. And you're going to have to really get into a practice of that, because as you cut that energetic field, here and there, when you're at that high frequency, you can meditate and you can send you know, white light, rainbow light. But to keep your frequency up, you're going to need to spiritually tune out at this point to let them go through it. They physically, for many of them, are going through the dark night of the soul, and it's something they spiritually need to go through. Try not to get triggered by readings or readers when they're saying certain things. At the moment, we are in a retrograde, but it's not to say that we can't energetically hold our own energy high. It doesn't have to impact us. We give choice, same aspect, manifestation. What you give power to is what you will create. If you're giving power to it, you're giving your power away. It's meant for self-awareness, not for self-sabotage or fear factors connected to it. It's more, you know, be aware of it and work with it. Find it amusing. Find it like you are the fly on the wall in life and you're seeing bees, and you know bees directly connect to love. The synchronicities are mad at the moment. They're absolutely crazy. And the energies are very high, up and down. Feminine, some of you will get to a place where you're just on cloud nine, you're really happy, you're moving forward. I mean, I had a food fight with my daughter the other day, and it's probably the happiest I've been in a very long time. And I found it very amusing. And it's just try and be light and playful. Don't get triggered by work at the moment, because at the moment things have slowed down, but that is because we are going through the final stage of the ascension. So it's it's a gift, really. You just don't understand it at the moment. So if work has slowed down, don't freak out by that. It is completely able to be manifested to a point you can get that vibration higher. So if you are wanting help with that, book a reading and I can work with you. It's not just down to twin flames. You know, you got to remember, anything you're directly having a block with, if you feel that you're maybe I can or maybe I can't do it, inbox me and we can discuss it. What's another thing I've picked up? I keep seeing and I do know a lot of what is going to transpire is happening either in 8 weeks or in August. Any questions while I'm tuning into what else I was thinking about? But try to give space to it. Try to do the work on yourself, but don't seek perfection, because it's not attainable. It's not real. I'm in my jammy jacket, Sons of Anarchy. Oh, you would have laughed the other day. Big shout out to Lauren. I was at my girlfriend's house the other day, and that reader that I shared quite a while ago on one of my videos was talking about how to get to I do. And it's not that I really care about that. It's more the fact that this lady, it seemed like it was a divine feminine, divine masculine video. And I'll go and look at other readers to see if the collective energy is, you know, sort of synchronistically matching everything. And in listening to that video, she mentioned that a masculine energy and a masculine energy can't be together, you know, because they're butting heads and there's no one boss. But in a twin flame journey, that's very different, because it isn't that you are working together more as a team. At times you'll be more masculine, at times you'll be more feminine, but you will dance, you will do that dance. So it's not there's a boss. You are very singular energy to a degree, but you're to the point. I'm having an awesome Friday the 13th. Well, it's not Friday anymore where I am. It's actually Saturday, so it's the 14th. Yes. Joys of it. I'm going to get a world clock soon, and it'll help me catch up with everyone all over the world. Anyway, so in this video, it was talking about you've either got to pick a side. You've either got to be feminine or masculine. And I looked at my girlfriend and I said, so am I not feminine if I wear trousers? I said, because I ain't going back to wearing dresses all the time. And we're looking at each other stumped, really scrolling YouTube. And it was the most hilarious thing. And we're looking at this video going, I ain't wearing pink all the time. I mean, if you see me wearing pink, it's because I'm pretending to be feminine, okay? We are all feminines and masculines inside ourselves. We all have our own signature. You don't need to mold yourself into a particular shape or a style. You're the freaking feminine or the masculine. And until we all grasp that shit in our head and get to a point where we get, The only thing you need to do is for yourself. It's for your, I do sleep pink, I will say that. It's just, I worked at this one location and it was fuchsia pink for a whole year. And I mean, it's like having my bedroom purple, and that was for 10 years and it killed it. And purple was my favourite colour, so that's just gone now. Was nervous that the karmic was going to come this weekend. Not had any communication, just yeah, try and keep life as simple as possible. In the morning I can. I'm doing the live session at the moment. What time is it here now? It is 2 o'clock in the morning. My face is broken out. Yes, I have had that as well. And I mean, I was one of the lucky teenagers that never got any acne, and I had a massive one the other day, and some of us are getting actual through the ascension, sort of like skin ailments. Yes, it's quite common. Nausea. Some people were feeling pregnant, very swollen and fluid in the feet, fluid in the ankles, etc. I actually find it amusing when I'm seeing people triggered, and I don't mean that in a harsh, mean way. It's just, the headaches as well. But like I say, you will also pick up on other people's energy as well. Being empaths, that's masculine and feminine. Sadness. Oh yeah, I've had like a pretty good 4 days. I've been super busy. Jen, I know she's been very busy. We've been in sync in this aspect. Both her and I have been really tying up loose ends. So anything connected to paperwork, business related situations, the home. Jen's a bit more OCD than me, which I find it quite cute. But I do give her grief for that. I haven't touched base with Lysiana yet, so I don't know how she's doing on that front. But some of you might be feeling the need to jump. Now, you can. This sadness will dissipate as the day progresses. What did Stefan say? I was walking through the shops looking at donuts and I'm going, I love being a female. I used to say that to my dad when he was down. He'd go, my mum and dad a long time ago had a bit of a breakdown in the relationship. And I said to him, you should have been a female. And he goes, why is that? I said, because when females are down, which is me, I was referring to my aspect. I said, we just ate chocolate. It's great. He didn't find the amusement in it, but he did eat the chocolate regardless. Yeah, go with it. You'll find the more you go with it, the quicker it'll move through. The longer... What does that mean? What do you mean, Derry? I missed what you mean. I love chocolate. Chocolate and caramel. Oof. My daughter was here on the school holidays and she said to me, Mum, is there any junk food? And all I have is protein bars. I don't store junk food in my house. When I go shopping, I will get some junk food. I just try. It's an aspect and a way I use to control. Well, there's no need for it because I cook during the week, I exercise during the week, and I keep everything pretty balanced. Worst habit? So I had to take her down the shops to get an ice cream at like 1 o'clock in the morning, which was ridiculous. But it's the way it goes. Any other experiences we've had? PMS for females, yes, and some of you may actually experience a cycle twice this month. But again, it is fluid, backaches, neck aches, muscle aches, headaches, emotions where they're quite fluid. And then all of a sudden it will come to a place where you may be very aggressive in mood. And this can be for children as well. So like I said, be mindful with your children. They can be super triggered at the moment. The closer we get to the lunar eclipse, the 26th, I believe it's the main one is, you will notice a difference in the animals. We're not meant to be perfect. As long as we know why we're using that tool, instead of using it as an excuse to, how do you put it? Every vice will have a direct reason why we use it. Now, it can just come to a point where it's enjoyment, but at other times, if it's used for other reasons, we need to address that area spiritually. Got to read these comments as they come. Yeah, a lot of people are, but you'll find, how do I put it? The ones further down that have learned quite karmic lessons, you guys are going to go through that energy differently. You'll probably flow through because you're meant to actually guide people. So what you're going to find is your energy, when it's up, everybody else's is down. And then as you purge, days to weeks later, others will purge because you are the geriatrics of the journey. So you are more telepathically connected to universe, where you will get those vibrations, those emotions you need to start paying attention to because they are guiding you. Sometimes when I listen to certain videos, I know yes or no straight away. You do also have to remember the only real reading that's going to completely resonate with you is a personal reading. And the reason that is because and you can ask yourself this when you have had a private reading, when it's extended out, you can either get a reading where it is projected, and I know certain people that have come to me for readings have said, they'll touch base with me and they'll say, hey, things you said at this time are starting to come through now, because they're your direct energy. You may not instantly have results right away, but that's where it's going. Whereas if you're getting a collective energy reading, it's going to give you the frequency. But you don't have to buy into every single aspect and item that's in that situation, because it's going to resonate with you, at a lower frequency for a shorter amount of time. And energy is fluid and it changes. So if you listen to a reading and you're using that completely, that one YouTube video, wherever you're watching it, and you're getting triggered by it and it doesn't resonate with you, don't own it, because that owning it can actually cause an issue with you. But again, it is divinely guided, because it's you coming back to you to a point where you're deciphering whether that's correct and relevant for you. Yeah, like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. I usually do the lives about 11 o'clock my time, or 10 a.m. Perth WA. So it's usually 10 a.m. or it's 11 p.m. Perth WA time. So I will do a brief video about that. So, but definitely click the bell, and that's when. Happy birthday to your daughter. Oh, the joy. Yeah, upside down. Well, theoretically, you didn't start it when you were 21. You started it at birth because this was your destiny. So we can say how many years we've been on it. It doesn't really make much difference. It was from previous lives. It's still long. And again, there are so many different style twins. And when I say that, we can go the wave, right? So they're the ones, not necessarily will the ones on the wave ahead move through first. There are time frames where those doors are needing to open up correctly, and it's part destiny, part free will. But within the free will, there's also lessons within that free will. But again, it's still divinely guided. So even if there's the aspect of free will, we're still going to keep getting knocked to purge those situations. Hi, Terry. Yeah, it happens when it happens. Like, that information is your information. So whenever that's to be, It will be. Oh, what is he trying to put voodoo on us? Hide user on channel. There you go. Are we getting triggered? I believe my DM has released a situation. I've been purging these for a few days. You've also got to remember during that time, remember the time frames and what's directly happened to you. There's a few readers here and there with their techniques they use to describe the situation. You may love your masculine, but as they say, you don't want them turning up with shit on their shoe. And that might be very, very frank. It depends on the situation of what you've dealt with. And it's not to say that you're not open. Yeah, in a moment, doll. It's more, be disconcerting. Treat it new. Be open to conversation, okay? Did I? Yeah, they need to do exactly what I was suggesting for feminines to do. You know, some of you might be getting to a point where you're saying, you know, and it depends on how long you've been alone. If it's been years and years, of course, yes, 100%. But you need to ask yourself the question, and that's masculines and feminines. Have you given yourself a little bit of time to be you? You know, there's nothing wrong with spending and investing some time in you. Otherwise, you're carrying that old energy with you into the new, and that's quite toxic. And that's why at that frequency you're unable to manifest, because you're bringing that lower vibration in before you've raised that vibration back up again. And again, you still can have the interactions with your twins or with partners, because this is collective energy as well. And a lot of people, the reasons why, you know, some people are saying they're not twins. How can they be twins? There can't be that many twins. Regardless, it's energy. Twins will trigger other people. And it doesn't matter. If this resonates with them, it's their energy and it's their message as well. So we shouldn't get caught up on the terminology of it. It's still feminine and masculine energy and how they directly deal with the adversity and the conflicts. Yeah, there's changes, but the more mature you can be in your own energy to be responsible for your personal healing, nobody can make you happy. And look, the ones that are further back in the journey may feel, and I can even say it from my point of view, I thought I had it all together. I watched a video on my Facebook page the other day, and I was like, I think it was something I wrote. I was like, and I thought I had learnt quite a bit. We are always learning, granted, but unless you can physically gift yourself the time to take the leap of faith, be alone, do a little bit of healing and enjoy yourself, you know, do your gardening or, you know, enjoy your friendships with your work colleagues, work on your business, manifest your spiritual goals, do the healing of the emotions of the hurt. You know, that is what's going to set your good foundation. And then when your twin comes in, if they've been, oh, what's that movie? I don't even know if I should verbally say it. What's the movie? If they've been swing deck players, you're just not going to play that game. It's got to be a fresh leaf. And I do not mean to offend, but it's got to be a fresh slate. It has to be to a point you're actually, instead of it being, hey, you know what I mean? No. Have the conversation, be adult about situations, communicate, be good friends, take it slow, or have the conversations first. You know, because it's no good, and I said this on Facebook, you don't want to sweep things under the carpet. You know, feminines that are early on in the journey are always feeling a noose to the situation where if they directly react in a certain way, there's a consequence, and there always had been. It's the way it is in the twin flame journey. If you say something in a particular way and it triggers masculine retreats, okay? It's the way it is. If you then don't react in a certain way, again, they retreat. You need to let them do that, because that's an old cycle that you are able to actually break, and that's both of you. If you're going to play that game, you're going to keep getting the same outcome. I used to say life was a game of chess, but it doesn't have to be. If you're playing the game, you're going to get played. If you're not playing the game, it's game over. There's no more playing. It's adult up, man up, feminine up. Okay? So don't play the game and you won't get played. That's as simple as it comes. Yet, because you feel from an empath point of view, from childhood, from previous situations, that if you don't act, give, react, you are not going to get what you want. Well, no, that's not actually so. If you're not getting what you want from that particular person, whether they do or don't deserve you is regardless. You want something to be legit. You want it to be real. You do not want to have a person come to you and treat you like shit. I mean, if you do want that, you might as well go out and actually go and choose to find that, because spiritually that's what you're doing. You know, if you then are coming to a place where you do love this person regardless, and I'm not changing that. It is a very, very unique connection. There's no other like it. It's the way it is. It doesn't mean you have to be a doormat. And if you are, all you will do is hurt the connection and hurt each other. It's not necessary until both of you can heal correctly. And it's not to heal and you're all perfect, because there's no such thing as perfect. But to get to a place where you have just a little bit of time and you're like, right, this cycle, like the little mouse in the cage in a science lab, because we feel like lab rats, right? And that's both sides. We're trying to find a perfect equation. Both sides really try. And then you try and go and have a relationship, elsewhere to try and move your life. You're in that circle motion. The only way to break that motion is to have some time out. Time out. Time out. And to have that time out, you can't stop him from running. He has to. You don't need to stop him running, because he's actually not running from you. He's running from himself. So don't take it personal, because that's ego related. Find it amusing. You'll still have it where you go back into it, because I might talk like this, but don't think for a second that I don't have those trigger points. I'm trying to be mature about my given situation. I know I'm a twin. That's the reality. I've known now for, oh God, how many years? Regardless, it hasn't been that long. It's been long enough while I've been 90% of the way through the channel. I had the aha epiphany. I always directly connected it to a soulmate. I didn't really know, but I'd seen the synchronicities and everything, and I pieced it together. And I was like, okay, then, we're not alone here. It's all this big mass journey. Great. So a lot of the people that are further on in the journey will either be you're all going to be empaths, but quite psychic. So I'm more focused on my aspect of my psychic gift. So now where I am in it, I'm realizing that for me to even have a relationship, be it with twin or another person, I need to be whole, and I won't apologize for that. That's not to say I'm not open. I'm open either way. I'm open for conversation, because I still feel spiritually that's healing. And I'm taking it every day as it comes. I think a lot of feminines do tend to go, oh gosh, we're under the pump, or we've got time constraints. You actually don't. You're only putting pressure on yourself. Right for my left the spot, I think. Ascension regardless, ears are ringing off the hook. You'll have blowhorn noises as well in your ear, like it sounds like it's popping. There has been a lot of sinus related issues, with the ears really getting to the point where there's been pressure build up. Yeah. Okay. But it's hard though because, you know, a lot of the journey is, you know, like I said, the only way you will have a direct insight into what directly is happening is to get a personal reading. I mean, I will continue doing the twin flame videos, especially if you're getting a very heavy energy and you're like having panic attacks and things like that. Get a reading with whoever. Get one to actually get the grounding and the insight, especially if you feel stuck. Again, like I said, I am going to make the toolkits for the mirroring. I am doing a toolkit for the mirroring. And that's because a lot of the situations we deal with have been all the way back to childhood. I've even actually looked at the aspect of the counselling aspect of things for me to get the actual direct training, because I want to implement some situations where we can desensitize ourselves. But not from what I've seen out there is there anything really of what I feel we actually need. So some of it I may still regardless develop, but it will be more from what I'm intuitively thinking we could actually utilize. I'm not bad. So I want to be able to use the words or the emotions, but you've got to remember when you have a trigger, it's connected to variables. It's not just one given thing. I'll just give you just a very standard example, jealousy. Now, with that, yes, okay, in theory, an emotion's triggered. Now, it doesn't even have to be connected to twin. It can be anywhere in life. Because a lot of the tools only on YouTube directly connect the dots to a given workplace or a relationship. They don't talk about life. And I really do believe firmly that these should be things that are taught at school. These are, you know, foundations that we can actually have in life where we can move forward, where we are being, what's the word? Using emotional intelligence. And it's not that we're not intelligent, it's we have not had completely all the tools to deal with that aspect. Now, I had several trigger points in my life that was connected to a hospital setting, and it was quite traumatic for me, actually. My auntie had quite a disastrous moment, and I won't go into details. She was hospitalised. Now, the situation with her was she had burns, and the sensation for me, connected to the bleach, connected to the hospital, was on a ratio from 1 to 10, probably 10. Now, later down in life, there was various other stages with direct contact with that same environment. Now, after a while, a phobia and a conditioning of that environment triggered me. So again, we could aspectly say it was fear-based. So after a while, that became a real problem for me. And I got into the nursing industry in the very early stages. I was quite young. I probably would have been about 16, 17. It was actually quite a trigger for me. So I had to desensitize myself. Yes and no. Okay, head and heart are directly connected. But when it comes to you making a decision, sometimes our heart steers us incorrectly. Sometimes it steers us correctly. You know, we want to know that we have both working at the same time. So it may be your twin is saying something in a particular way, and you deep down spiritually know, emotionally, that the trigger point has happened from a previous point in time. Now, no, we can't blame that person or the twin, but you're still currently in that vibration feeling that shit. So it doesn't matter whose it is. You're in that energy and you need to quickly work out how to get out of that energy. And if you can't, it's going to cause an issue. But again, it is divinely guided where they're going to learn something from it, but so are you. But it's not a perfect vibration and you don't want to stay in that. And you also, for you spiritually, don't want to feel stuck in that environmental feeling within your body reliving that constantly. So, like I said, I'm going to do some videos, but they're going to be anywhere down to meditation, techniques. Too hard to go into, but I've thought of the basis of how I'm going to create them. And I'm going to go over, I'm going to attempt to go through every variable and different ways in which you can look at it so that can be a toolkit. Yeah, it can be smells as well. Look, my grandmother's perfume, I physically can't wear it, and I call it my grandmother's perfume. And that's Red Door. I just go, it's her perfume. It's no. Uh, you know, even with the bleach, I mean, my dog had passed away, and the smell of the bleach in the vet clinic, again, the same trigger point. So when you have, it's almost like post-traumatic stress disorder with some of these trigger points, and it could be something fair base connected to abandonment. That is a hot, it depends on where your fair base is at for that. I mean, at a level of 1 to 10, when you have been constantly triggered and left, and that can be with various people in your life, that's a biggie. That's a 10 ratio. So you need to desensitize that, okay? Yeah. So it can be the smell of a location. Um, and again, you actually spiritually have the tools inside you. You actually have the tools inside you. I'm going to give you the techniques to connect them, and you can practice using them in order to help you in your life to be aware, to help you work through that. Because it's, you know, yes, we go through purging, but until we can actually release the energy connected to that, it's always going to be there. So we have to learn to do that. So yeah, I don't want the channel to be completely just, obviously, yes, I'm going to support and focus on twins. I definitely want to do the videos for the zodiac signs, and I'm probably going to separate it so the money aspect is separate. I'm still going to do the collective energy, but we're going to have manifestation either monthly on a Monday. Because I can't always guarantee I can get on here every Monday, especially if I've got bookings, but I will block out monthly, and we can pick the beginning of the month and the end of the month, and we can check in with each other. And try and change it up a bit. We might even have a time where we can have a challenge or something like that. Yeah, well, it's strange because the aspects of the triggers really aren't just connected to you know, our power within a relationship. It's our power within our own life, and how we can actually, yeah, lots of numbers at the moment, almost every single one. It was driving me nuts today. It's like, yes, I hear it. Okay, thank you. But, you know, how it directly impacts the way we deal with our children, the way we deal with our partner, the way we deal with our life, with the adversity, our work environment, challenges with friendships. These are all aspects where, although we're empaths, those tools, and especially the triggers connected to childhood and twin, had, to a degree, we had not had the complete tools there to directly deal with it. As we've gone through the journey and we're turning into the geriatrics of the journey, we're getting a lot better than that. But also, do keep your vibrations high where you do believe in your situation. I mean, I don't feel that we should not believe in our masculines or our feminines, because I believe as human beings we have every ability to achieve whatever we feel we set out to achieve. So if they feel at the moment that they can't spiritually, if we keep our vibration high, and that's another reason why you may have 2-3 good days, and suddenly all of a sudden your energy will drop down top bottom, and that's because you've raised your frequency. They're retrieving your energy to pull themselves up. Okay, I've been saying, yeah, it's asking you to pay attention. I did listen to it today for 717. Another person said they had contact with their twin. But when you listen to the connection of 717 or 717. It's talking about you paying attention to signs and being open. I'll have to research it a bit more. You're just lovely, Stefan. You have such a lovely energy. Whenever I look at your energy, it's always lovely. Why can't we be all gentle like you? When we get our twins' energy, we're like... The people that know me laugh at me. What are you scared of? Hey, I'll be honest, sometimes I'm bloody scared. But when you're busy, you don't have time to be scared. Key. Yeah, it has been quite a ride, hasn't it, Stefan? Then don't tune into it. Just take it. And again, it's because you're releasing expectations. And I actually have no expectations. I'm quite... Life is going to be what it's going to be. What was that? Yes, he does, love. I wish one of him. Yeah. Yeah, I think, and that is another thing. The ones that are early on in the journey, be very careful about your fears, because I can actually tell you, anything I thought, it happened. Now, that was obviously past life energies I had to learn. But the reasons why many feminines release and stop chasing is because any hopes and dreams they had maybe had been given to other people. So they're not scared anymore because every potential of what they had spiritually wanted perhaps had been given to other people. And it's not you're angry about it. You're like, well, what more? What have you got to lose, really? Do you know what I mean? So when those things have happened, you sort of get to a point that you're like, well, you kind of feel sad for them because you think you learn so much through it. And that's why I say to you guys, if you're feeling that you're getting nothing out of it, trust me, you really do. And it's not you have a choice anyway, so I'm really sorry. I can't save you from that aspect. That is part of your life, and it's your life lessons and what you were sent here for. So I can't save you for that. And no, it doesn't turn off. And no, you can't cut the bloody umbilical cord. You're stuck with a friggin' energy. So masculines, if you think you can run, you can't. Because no matter where you go, this energy will follow you and you will have to purge it and heal, because it's actually not about us. It's completely, the energy is completely separate to the connection. Yes, you're spiritually connected. Yes, there's potential to be together for twins. But it's, you need to heal. And having a person in your life to avoid your feminine or masculine is not going to help you. Look, if you have done your healing and you choose to be in a relationship, that's free will. But if you physically are going to a relationship to hide behind it, you're wasting your time. It will fail. I'm telling you straight. Any relationship I got into where I spiritually was not at my highest frequency, it failed. And it wasn't the person, it was my lesson to learn. I needed to grow up. I needed to face my fears. This was part of my destiny, and I could not hide behind a person. So if you spiritually are in a connection where you are hiding behind them, it is universally guided that it will be removed from you, be it you physically choose it, because you are meant to grow. You were never meant to be small. I know you don't like that. I remember my neighbour asking me once upon a time, Yildiz, what do you want to be when you grow up? All I said was, I want to be a wife with a white picket fence and 4 kids. I didn't get that. Because I wasn't meant to be small. And I'm not saying I'm big, and that's not ego. I wasn't meant to stay in a cookie cutter life because there was a universal, there was something I had to learn. That was not what was built for me at that point in time, okay? And the frequency will change. You know, it's not saying you can't have 10, 20 years in a relationship and it be nice. I'm not saying that. I'm saying be self-aware and do the work. Well, the same equation of what happens with twin will happen in your partnerships, because you still need to heal. You still need to get to that point where you're not afraid of your life. If you're in a partnership now and you know you're a twin and you were thinking that, you know, oh, it's okay, it's my duty. Love is not a duty. It's not a duty. Love is a feeling. Okay? And if you do not have that for them, you are ripping them off from having what they're spiritually entitled to. And I'm not judging you. I actually feel for you, because it's hard for both parties. Nobody in any relationship, be it you wanted to be there or you didn't, comes out unscathed. It's still painful, okay? So the fear you have, though, traps you. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's the example I'm giving you, that just because you feel it's your 3D obligation to do things in life, regardless, be it you're a twin or you're not a twin, you can't hold that vibration forever, because yes, we do things. Okay, go to a job for 20 years and think, if your boss is abusing the crap out of you, that you are going to tolerate that. No, you wouldn't. If your friend was spitting in your face, treating you like shit, would you tolerate it? No, you wouldn't. But yet with your twin, you do. But then you come to that vibration where you own your power, then you start doing the work on yourself. So still the key is the same. You need to do the work. What if my DM don't level up? Your DM's going to level up, because as your energy changes, the vibration changes, and that's why you get the trigger points. Haven't you noticed? As soon as you're moving forward, twin comes back. As soon as you are getting to a point where your vibration changes and you're feeling great, all of a sudden you have a mass crash, and your energy is like you're getting aggressive and angry. It's because their frequency is being pulled to level up. Pulled to level up. So if you're having a great day, 9 times out of 10, within about 48 hours, your masculine's going to be having a pretty shitty time, because they're getting dragged. Yeah, have fun with that energy. White light. But yes, there are tower moments coming, whatever they be. For however one of us we are, there are some tower moments coming. And like I said to you, it was moving into the second week where the energy would pick up. Now, the Lionsgate portal is the largest pinnacle of energy coming through where we can manifest. So the energy is going to keep getting heavier. If you can keep yourself grounded and you can move through that energy and deal with the purging, just, okay, feminines, you guys, the ones that, you know, depending on where you are in the journey, picture yourself in a lifeboat, right? You are in a lifeboat and you're like, Houston, we have a problem. I can see a storm ahead. We know there's a storm coming, right? So we're getting in that dinghy and we're like, we're rowing, Abraham Hicks style, but then the current's changing. You've pulled the oars in and you're sitting back and you're like, okay, you're going to go with the flow. As you're going with the flow, the rope's back there and your twin is being dragged. The reason is because feminines in their spiritual life have had their tower moments. So they had a lot of emotional purging and growing they had to do. Now, spiritually, with where the planets are, any masculine energy is going to be going through mass transformations. Now, many feminines, this would have started for them, probably more so, well, it's been ongoing, I won't lie, but quite heavy towards probably February onwards. Tower moment, adversity, problems, juggling. Yeah. There you go. So you already started yours. This is the second half of the year as masculines. Theirs is going to be condensed though. Awesome. Solar flare. I was watching Doomsday Preppers the other night. That's another thing I was going to say. I used to have these dreams. Now, these dreams to me, when I have dreams, something of a repetitious nature, 9 times out of 10 with me, especially when it's over many years, is generally a premonition. And then it goes away and it will come back again or come to mind around a time it's actually coming closer. Now, I remember as a child, I used to have several particular dreams. One was I had a premonition of my daughter, and I was in Trafalgar Square with the big cats. Now, again, Lionsgate portal. And I did see her roughly at the age she currently is at. So there may be something coming up in England that is going to transpire. It can be between two countries. And again, I won't even bother going there with that, but it can be between two countries. So stay tuned around that time and see what happens, but I'm hoping I'm wrong. I also did see a vision of a tidal wave. Now, this tidal wave, I repetitiously would have this dream, and it was very large. And it was like I was trying to stop it and I was getting pulled in, but it was like I was trying to use my hand to stop the water coming, and people were bringing in. Really? Wow, great. He was divinely guided as well. That's for us to be appalled by the energy so that we could actually change our frequency and want for better. It's divinely guided. I think his wife will leave him too. That's just personally. Yeah, I felt from day dot, I didn't feel the frequency between. I'm such a cow, eh? Okay, so this. Okay, so in this vision, I do feel there may be an earthquake as such, and I do feel water related. I did go through a stage where I kept actually researching the highest points for evacuation. So doomsday preppers may be relevant, and I may not know why, but I also did have a vision of bunkers made by the government, and they had white doors with red writing on them. And I recall there were rows of people, and people sort of kind of queuing up. And unless you were of a certain bracket or hierarchy, you didn't get to go in. But the funny thing was, it was the rich that were going, which can be the theme of what's going on around this environment now with the planets. But also the ones, and it was this mindset that we needed to be ready. But I think that's actually a direct indication that we spiritually need to be ready, because the spiritually strong will be ready and the other ones will need protection. That's the way I took the vision. Yeah, I've always had those dreams ongoingly. Most terrifying. Yeah, there were a lot. There were a lot, and they were underground. But I think they transferred into like boats or dinghies, so they were waterproofed. And I think they could fly as well. But people were going in. It was strange, and it was like, we need to be prepared. We need to be prepared. That's what I kept hearing. And I do recall my first memory from before birth was I was in a hurry. So that's about all I remember on that night. And I did pick my path. So that sort of has helped me not be in sooks too long. What am I doing now? Who are we talking to? Makes a lot of sense. Any questions? Hi, hi, Jenny. Yes, I am. There's been plenty of movies about those. But synchronistically, if you actually watch, like, okay, here's another subject which I will be touching base on. Somebody actually asked me the other day, what is your opinion on the walk-ins? I will be doing a video to it, but I will do it separate as a separate subject, because I do believe a lot of when anyone has directly had an aspect of adversity in their life where it's been massive tower moments and you got post-traumatic stress, it is like you have a walk-in. Okay, it can be super severe or super lower frequency to a point you don't notice it, you just feel off. A walk-in is where the old set, it can come through in a traffic accident, or when you've gone into a coma, electric shock, or transformations in your life where there've been large tower moments. Now, it's almost like the old energy that you've purged, an aspect of your soul dies away. Now, from what I've researched, they state a new soul jumps in, although your energy and the vessel remains the same. However, and whatever you believe, energetically, if you've ever experienced sort of like the nagging and the tugging of the old you, so regardless of soul, let's just put it in layman's terms, the energy frequency of you physically feeling the old you has died, yet it's holding on, it's wanting to stay in that safe zone. And I've always said this, your soul is always ahead of where the body spiritually is, because it's needing to catch up on that evolution. So your soul, so to speak, the aspect of it that has evolved, has moved beyond that. And it's in a hurry. It's like you're safe, everything's fine, you're transcending, you're changing. The other aspect of it is the old bit is holding on, dragging you back to the old. So at times you will feel very foreign in where you are, like you don't belong, like it doesn't feel right. Some people actually have to the point where they don't recognize people, where it's the ringing in the ears and the, you just don't know who the people are, and you've got to, you know, giggle, we're not that bloody lucky. Ask Luciana. I'll have to share that comment with her. She'll piss herself laughing. Would you really want to? I do know from readings I have had, I have experienced twins that have passed over that have actually come back. Now, it doesn't have to be they come back at the same age. It can be through transplants as a walk-in, but more a heavy walk-in where the person has, passed over and then they've come through. And sometimes it can be spiritually. They just energetically step into someone to channel, because they want to make contact with their twin because their twin's going through shit. Yes, well, I was like, are you joking? Like, literally that foreign aspect, like you don't belong and it's strange and it's like foreign, and it's quite scary actually. So I'm doing more research into it, but definitely resonated with me. It really did make sense, in a sense that it was almost like people would say to me, what's wrong with you? Why have you changed? I have done a great deal of change over the years. But it's because you think of it just in really basic terms for the believers of aspects like that. Theoretically, you're changing all the time. You're spiritually growing, even at a very basic level. You've changed so much. The conditioning and the situations in your life have changed you so much that you're just not the same person anymore. So when we say people can't change, it's a load of crap. People can change. It can be environmental. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink, but adversity sure can break that back. And if it doesn't, you will keep learning and living that shitty cycle till you do. So, any other questions? So yes, I will do more research on that. Me. Your energy reminds me of me. We'll be fine. Well, that's what it will be. That's why sometimes somebody described the Two of Cups as more a new person coming in. You got to remember, as we evolve, we always are new. Me. Through the life journey, I feel. Aspectly connected to twin. Any other questions before I go? But yeah, if you're at a T section in your road and you're really needing guidance, just book a reading because you're not going to get that ideal through a YouTube reader. I surely should be. Just message me, and as soon as I'm up, I'll message you back, doll. I'm okay at the moment. I'm having my smoke, Darry. See, that was a rhetorical statement. It's like, do you want to talk later? Anytime, giggle. Been hard to disconcern from me and my twins' energy. Yeah, just roll with it. Really, it is hard, but you'll get to. It will ease up. The energy is going to ease up, but it is going to be a bumpy ride. This year has been a very hard year, but we will feel better for it at the end. We'll be doing the same as what we did last year. Let's just crawl out of this bloody year. I thought to myself, I probably should start getting things ready for Christmas and crap like that, and I was like, every day as it comes. If you need to, get out in the garden. If you need to tune out of that energy, go and get busy. Anytime, Stefan. Anytime. It's okay. As soon as I get triggered, I meditate and I'm like, it's time to come back on. I'll have to go anyway because my battery's almost dead. Yes, I will be doing some t-shirts soon. I'm getting all the equipment ready. So it'll be custom. So you can pick your size and what you want on it. So we can do Manifestation Monday. Okay, guys, like I said, if you are wanting a booking, you can go through to the website. I will be doing videos on synchronicities. We're going to have one day during the week where we're going to have maybe some different things happening in the readings. Not just readings, but other aspects to keep our vibration high, manifest, money manifestation, vibrational changes, numerology connected to twin, and separate to that, animal totems. So there's lots coming, but on one person, so bear with me. I'm trying to get it all done. That's okay, Monica. Thank you all for subscribing. I really appreciate your support. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, Star the Oracle. Anytime. Take care. Yeah, and